Welcome, Collective, to Timeless Energy. I'm Barbara. This is a general timeless reading. This is entertainment purpose only. If it does not resonate, please do not try to make it fit. Watch out for scammers in the comment section. I do not reach out. At the moment, I'm not capable of taking on any private reading requests of any kind. So, if someone approaches you, it is not me. This is my disclaimer. It is not me. Now, thank you for liking. I appreciate so much all of those who have watched my content and have subscribed. Subscriptions or subscribers are going to help me build my channel, and I just had to go for a month without putting out any content. So I really need to work on building my subscribers, and I truly appreciate anyone who is interested in pressing the subscribe button who has not already done it. By all means, go ahead and press that subscribe button right now. As for your donations, I do have an announcement. The purpose for taking that very long period of time and not being able to put content out was a technical problem with my computer. And my donations are now linked through a new email. You are welcome to look at all of my content. But on the older content, you will find the older email address. Please be aware, do not send donations to the old email address. Not at the moment anyways. There it is. barbara.barbedwired@gmail.com. I will not be able to move it because of the problem I had with the computer is not completely repaired yet. The links, and I had to put a new email out. The new email will be in the description box. So anybody who is interested in doing that, by all means. Now, let's see here. Today, we pulled out the Cats Rule the Earth Tarot. This is actually one of my favorite decks. I've only used it a couple of times. It was a gift. But I absolutely love the descriptions and content in here. It definitely gives me a perspective that is not so far off. But I've got 4 cats. Also, today we will be using my Learning Tarot cards. I ran across these. I have not used these in the longest time. And I'm going to use these today as a clarifier. We pull 3 cards. And we will be using crystals, the stone deck. This is going to be my Oracle deck card. And I've used that a couple of times if you're familiar with that. Okay. Now, first of all, what we're going to do is we're going to select 3 cards from our cat deck here. But I do truly appreciate all of the support that I am on the receiving end of. You all know that I do the long video. I'm doing the 1 card. I'll do the clarifier card, which is actually something that took me a while to do because, you know, the learning process and all that. Spirit guide me. Spirit guide me. 3 cards for 2 days. Timeless energy. Ooh, we gotcha. And I have the Nine of Swords. Okay. 2 more cards. Spirit guide me, Spirit guide me. For the message for today's timeless energy, Spirit guide me. I ask Archangel Michael, for guidance. And there we go. And I have the Death card. I haven't used these in a while. They are very thin. Okay, 1 more card. Ask Archangel Michael for protection and guidance for the message for today's timeless energy. Spirit guide me. Spirit guide me. Okay. And I have the 6 of Swords. There we go. Sorry about the space, you guys. I am hoping after I relocate that there'll be more of it, but we work with what we have. Okay. Now the 9 of Swords. Okay, I like to do the chakras, and you guys know sometimes I bring them up during the read, and sometimes I don't. I frankly think sometimes it's based on my memory because, there's so much going on. But I like to use chakra energy as kind of like a clarifier, especially if I've got maybe I'm not sure what direction the message is going in. So I do appreciate your patience with me. Now the sacral chakra. We are having the energy of connection, which is strong. In some cases, the sacral chakra, when they're talking about connection, it does lean in the direction of intimacy. Not always, but very close connection can be happening or possible. Now, you also have a good relationship with money with the sacral chakra, and the money flows. Take it for what it's worth. We still need to look at the cards, and all 3 cards, okay, for the actual message. Because even though the sacral chakra has easily flowing money or a connection with having relationship, intimacy, closeness, bonds, the 9 of Swords gives us a different idea altogether. We are talking anxiety, maybe some kind of suffering, unhappiness, or concern. Now the 9 of Swords, don't get distressed. We have 3 cards to go over. It could be at your breaking point, and it was with the chakra being the sacral chakra, connecting to the flow of money. Things could be at a breaking point because, we are looking at regret. It could be the subject of gossip. And, not to go too far into the details, because if I put too many of them out, it will have an overall impact on the entire energy of the rest of it. We haven't read all the cards yet. But we're looking at possibly an illness due to a past action. The choices that have been made are resulting in some kind of a painful situation. Now with the 9 of Swords, the rupturing of an important relationship, or maybe betrayal. Okay, so this is the energy of the 9 of Swords. So when they say flow of money, the flow of money might possibly be impacted by the choices that were made. If there's some kind of betrayal, we might be using that in the direction of your love relationships, because the sacral chakra says connecting intimately with others. Now, to be honest with you, I did the Astrocast video with one of my favorite people. I, embarrassingly enough, would not be able to word on that subject as well as the professionals that put videos out. So I have a couple of them I watch every now and again. And the thing is, when it comes to this energy in the Nine of Swords, we are looking at a weekend coming up here, which is going to have some Mars energy in there. It's going to have Uranus. It's going to have Mars. And Mars is one of the energies in the Nine of Swords. And to be honest with you, Mars can be aggressive. It can very, very, very well be aggressive. The thing about it is, the energy that we're feeling with the Mars, well, you think automatically what? Of war, right? Okay. But it's strongly connected to your sex drive. And the sacral chakra is connected to intimacy. So there is a clue there. The animal side of the human nature and the sex drive. Now, being very aggressive with Mars is like you're determined. You know, it is also considered a warring planet, fighting for or being aggressive for the thing, whatever. But I have already seen intimacy. Okay, so we might be dealing with relationships, because I don't see money flowing either in a bad way or a good way, but I see intimacy. And with the Mars energy here in the Nine of Swords, connected with that, okay, we might be talking about intimacy, a relationship. And I did have a very strong energy of Mars coming up here. When I'm doing this read, I would say, let's see, 2 days from now, we will be going into maybe the energy, maybe 3, okay, to give it a little bit. But it will be the entire weekend from Friday to Sunday. Okay, there are other things in the astro. We'll have Uranus as well. And I'm not sure, did I have Uranus in my read? No. Okay. Now, the thing about the Nine of Swords. If it were concerning money, the Nine of Swords would represent, are you worried about, like, maybe being able to cover the responsibilities that you have? This could be panic attacks, sleepless nights. It could be fear, having false evidence pop up in a situation. But most of the energy with the Nine of Swords, regardless of what box you put it in, seems to represent being concerned or worried. And the main part of that is that you're probably worrying yourself over a little bit of nothing. Now, I do know that the energy of the movements of the planets is a temporary thing, so you might go through some anxiety for a day, maybe 2. With your fear hitting you, or your anxiety level, or maybe you're worried about something that's not going to be working out. Mostly if it's money, covering everything. It is the end of the month. Would have mentioned that as well. Okay. Now the thing is, as a situation, it could be the results of something that you're waiting on. The fear of pretty much adding up, the possibility of. And this worry and this anxiety is, for the most part, with the Nine of Swords, an imaginary thing in your head, in your head, in your head. Okay, now the thing is, with the Mars, again, I am seeing intimacy. So if you're having anxiety or fears, it might very well be connected to a relationship energy. And keep in mind that when I saw the Astrocast video, which was viewed by me today, I cannot tell you who it was. I'm not quite sure if that's a conflict. But there was a mention of Mars, and there was a mention of some energy Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So this might be connected to the energy of the intimate relationship, or, hey, it doesn't have to be the intimate relationship. It can be a relationship with somebody that you're not intimate with, but still in a way, some kind of relationship. Now, the Death is the next card, and the Death is the heart chakra. And the heart chakra is something that I really have a personal preference for, because even though the sacral chakra has intimacy listed, and all that, the heart chakra, what are we assuming that it has to do with our feelings and the heart? But it isn't necessarily true. You can love again. So, sorry. If you're having, with the beginning of our message, relationship, intimacy, conflicts, the heart energy of this is, the Death card is an ending. Not necessarily the death of, like, permanent death. Most of the time, it is the severing of a relationship, the walking away of a relationship. It could be you're taking a class and you've reached the end of it and you no longer have to do it. It could be a number of things that have to do with the end of something. But since we've already mentioned relationships, and I don't usually focus on that kind of energy, most of the time I avoid that kind of energy like the plague. I don't do love readings. The thing about the Death card is a mirroring energy, okay? It's a symbol in a way. But it can be the ending or like death of many different types of situations. It can also be, to be a little more positive about it, someone who welcomes a change. They're ready for it. Whatever, maybe even in some cases, believe it or not, maybe you're not only not surprised when the change is brought up or discussed or happens. Maybe it's something that you've actually been willing to give up. And that is specifically from my cat deck, not the Death card. Because normally when something ends, most people are, they're so fond of it, or, they're devastated. But with the energy of this cat deck, this energy of this card basically says that it might possibly be something that you're more than willing to walk away from. And something that you're not surprised about. Maybe something you saw coming in some cases. With the relationship, does not have to be a relationship. It could be like something that you're not intimate about or with, or maybe something very close. But it is definitely the ending of. And in this case, it is something that the energy is, you are so ready. You are so ready to start something new. You are so ready to walk away from something that you're not happy with anymore. Okay, and that is the truth of it. Transformations. Now, the problem here is Pluto is connected to this card. With the transformations being Pluto, first of all, it has a long-term generational impact. So when this change occurs, it's going to have a very long-term generational impact. It will not only impact you, it will impact everybody around you and maybe the next generation in your family or the family that you make, because sometimes family is a group of people that you have more in common with. But whatever this is, this will have a long-term generational impact because of the Pluto. And another thing about Pluto, with the energy of Pluto, and I have had this card a number of times, and the ironic thing about it is that if the transformation is connected to Pluto, it will be abrupt, caused by something that is chaotic or destructive. Maybe something you don't intend or plan on or see coming. And with this weekend having Mars and Uranus in the astrocast, so close with this energy. I'm not saying a timeline here. I'm saying the energy of a read will last anywhere from 4 to 7 days, which would cover this weekend. But the thing about it is, the severing of, the walking away, even if the card says basically that you are more than ready to move on to something that's going to make you happy. Because you maybe haven't been happy in a long time. But the real deal is it's going to occur without warning. And it's going to occur in a very distressing, long-term, generationally impacting way. Conflict, chaos, destruction. Okay. Not necessarily, hey, I'm not saying a tornado is going to touch down and rip everything apart. I am saying something that maybe if you see this, or maybe are silently wishing for this change, that when the severing of finally does come about, or the conversation about the tall and short of it, and pack your bags, that it wasn't expected to be done in that way. Maybe you did see it coming, but it wasn't expected to be done in that way. Not by you anyway. So this is going to be something that took you by surprise. The way that it occurs. And that is the Pluto energy. The conflict of, this is going to impact you and everybody long term. And the way that it's done, or the way that it happens, it's going to impact long term. And if it impacts long term, or lasts in the memory of, whoever is dealt this blow, and in some cases, whoever shares what happened, if whatever it is something you talk about. Now, the other thing with the Death card is the Scorpio energy, which also, actually, to tell you the truth, I've heard a number of readers mention Scorpio as being like an ending or a death energy. It's strongly reflecting spiritual nature and being able to analyze or solve problems. And traditionally, Scorpio energy is highly sexed sign. Now, in the Scorpio, there is maybe some self-absorption energy. In the Scorpio, there is some energy that you're being drained financially. This is also connected to the Pluto, but it's Scorpio and Pluto together with this card. So this could maybe not be the end of a relationship. It could be the end of a situation where maybe there has been a problem with the budget that needs to be fixed or rectified. And maybe something's going to end, like the way you're currently making those financial decisions. Okay? It does have to do with relationships. I see relationships all over this. It is like screaming relationship. So it would have to do something with the relationship. But it also has to have to do with the choices' long-term generational impact. If you're making bad choices, you're going to have devastating impact after you do it for a long enough period of time. If it's handling finances and you are just not doing it the way you should be doing it, or making really, really bad choices, that situation's going to end you. Yeah, right on the street with a suitcase and no place to go. Okay. On the other hand, you're dealing with a relationship. You got to work together with your partner. Okay. I see relationship. I see the ending of something. Maybe not the ending of the relationship. Maybe the ending of how things are handled in the relationship. This is a possibility with this second card. And whatever choices are made, or whatever changes are made, and hopefully it is a relationship where two people can get together and have a conversation without breaking up about things that they can do to improve things and reach goals the way they want to. Okay? It might be a long-term thing. It can go either way, the good or the bad. The cards don't say good or bad. The cards say something's going to stop. Now, with the Six of Swords in reverse. Now, the thing about the Six, we are in reverse, and it is the first reverse card. We're being willing to walk away from whatever it is that's going on here. Maybe just to make changes that are long generational, no like permanent severing of anything. But we are willing to walk away from whatever it is that's going on here. In reverse, there might be a confession. That's the one that actually sticks out. Because if you're dealing with a relationship, you're dealing with another person or maybe a group of people, but there might be a confession. If it has to do with financial or handling of finances, there might be no immediate solution available or no immediate solution, but it is like out of the frying pan and into the fire kind of energy in reverse. With the heart chakra, specifically narrowing itself right down to something that you love the most. This does not have to be a person. This could be a creative hobby, a club. Maybe you're going to school and you've got to stop for a while because you are overwhelming yourself. Something that you love. You love making money? Maybe it has to do with the way you're making money. Something that you love. Could be a hobby. Okay? But in here, we're talking about relationship. We're talking about choices, I think, long-term, generational, maybe connected to finances. So whatever this is communicating with the Mercury. And this is saddled with the Aquarius energy, which is expressing your views with the communication, expressing your views. And on top of that, this card's in reverse. You're going from out of the frying pan and right into the fire. The air energy. I have a joke about the air energy because I've got relatives that are actually fire sign and I've got relatives that were actually air sign. And I was kind of right in the middle. And I used to joke about what would happen if you blew air onto a fire. Well, of course, you get sparks and it goes up and it burns hotter. You know what I mean? I would joke about this because you know what? The fire sign relatives were a little bit hot-headed. Okay? When it runs in the family. But to be honest with you, this is an air sign. Let's see. Pluto. The Nine of Swords is an air sign. The Six of Swords is an air sign. So this could be somebody who is an air sign or has one of the air signs in their natal chart. We have 12 houses in our natal chart. So keep in mind, we don't memorize other people's natal charts for the most part. But you can always look at your own. Or you were born in an air sign. Or maybe your friend has several air sign in their natal chart and you might know about it. But we've got the 2 air signs here. And blowing that air onto the fire. Okay, with the Mercury, communication. With the Aquarius. Insecure individuals that are expressing their views about this situation, which is something that has to stop. I am guessing they're talking about the finances, not the relationship. I could be wrong. Whatever resonates with you, okay, please do not make it part of what you're taking in and make it happen based on the way that you like, oh my God, you know what I mean? No, because this could be the relationship that you have with money. And there's been some communication, okay? Communication. And you're expressing your views. Or somebody is. Could be a third party, but you know what? Hey, you could get hypothetical and guess all day long. I could just keep talking about that whole thing for the next half hour. Because you know what? Everybody knows the longer the YouTube video, the better off I you know what I mean? I'm not even going to go there. I am just in the learning process, and I am just working on finding out what the message is and trying to be as accurate as I can. But I see long-term generational impact and a conversation with the Aquarius energy of expressing your views. And I definitely see the ending of something. Some kind of relationship. It could be a relationship with money. It could be a relationship in other ways. But I'm definitely seeing finance. I definitely see intimacy. So maybe a partnership. And whatever conversation, whatever you talk about, however you decide to handle it, it's going to have a long-term impact. Now, this could be a shift in your mental attitude about what things, maybe trying to reach a calmer place. Because maybe you need to make a couple of changes because you're not happy anymore. You just need to get to a calmer, more stable place. Okay? And this useful conversation could include the perspective from somebody who's giving you advisement. Okay. And that is from the cats. So, the communication, and I think we're drawing in with a pretty good picture of like the message here. The focus and the clarity. Now, usually the Six of Swords has to do with like traveling too, but the thing about it is the Six of Swords is in reverse. So it could be something that somebody wants to do, and maybe the partner is having a conversation going, yeah, well, seriously. Traditionally, it is moving on from something that's a disruptive situation. You see? Moving on from something that's disruptive. So I think we're on to something here. I think that we have an outline of a pretty strong picture. And I am going to... Oop, I didn't do that right. Shuffle. Ha. My little learner cards. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm going to have to do it a different way. These are a little thicker than my other ones that I just used, because they're actually coated in plastic. And these were actually the first that I got when I started showing an interest. And to be honest with you, I just absolutely love it. But I looked at the camera for 1.5 years before I plugged it in. Okay. And I don't profess to be perfect. Okay. So, with the Nine of Swords, give me a clarifier card. Spirit guide me, Spirit guide me, Spirit guide me. With the Nine of Swords, please give me a clarifier card. Spirit guide me, Spirit guide me. Just one, just one, just the Fool. Okay. Reminder of the Nine of Swords. Stick that over there. A reminder of the Nine of Swords. Because that was the definition of what? Conflict? Inflamed by worry? Somebody who might be suffering, overwhelmed, worry. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So, this represents jumping off a cliff. I'm sorry, I'm looking at the picture. I'm not reading that definition down there, even though it's sitting right in front of me. It's time to embark on a brand new beginning. Now, with the worry, it could be because you've got some kind of lack of commitment. And I am not going to go hypothetical about like what everybody's situation is, because there are a lot of people watching, and this could be many different types of situations. But we are talking freedom. We're talking jumping off the cliff, starting something new, moving off into a new direction, and we're talking lack of commitment. So we had actually little, and I originally did think, when I saw the Nine of Swords, that this was a relationship that was like final. Okay. So we have the Fool card here, jumping off the cliff, moving on, I'm ready to go. Okay. So maybe the worrying and the lack of commitment is something that has caused the energy to say, oh, well, you know what? If you're not going to make any kind of commitment in my direction, then I am just going to mosey on down that mountain. Now with the Death card, standing your ground. Standing up for your beliefs, fighting your corner. Protective, defensive, determined, challenging, opposing, stamina, holding your own, taking the high road, maintaining control, and being territorially assertive. That is a big mouthful. Especially when we went over the Death card, not maybe ending a life, but definitely ending a situation, possibly financial. And we mentioned the possibility of this be intimately being like more than one person, either a relationship of two or, whatever the situation might be. But this energy of ending could be making changes and might possibly be financial. We are not going to be, like, I'm not psychic, but what I saw was financial. Maybe making some changes. Okay. It's not like walking away. This is actually freedom from the worry by making. And this is the death, the ending of however it is that you're doing things. Holding your own is right up in there. Maintaining control is right up in there. So maybe if this is financial and this is like, okay, I'm taking the leap. I'm taking the leap. Okay, I'm done with the worrying. I am needing to stop some things that are not benefiting me, probably the way that things are being spent. Because it's going to have a long-term impact if I make better choices, and I'm determined. I need to maintain control. I need to be protective about this, whatever this is. Okay? So we need to maintain control. That is what I see there. I seriously do think that if we are dealing with a relationship, we are dealing with a couple of people that are working together as a couple. Okay. Who has reached a point. Okay. Where something needs to end and something needs to improvements. Okay. 6 of Swords. Where were we? Ooh. Oh my goodness. And I got a reversal. What do we got here? Burden. Having insurmountable problems. Flogging a dead horse. And being resigned to fate. Oh my goodness. Well, with the Aquarius energy of the 6 of Swords, we did bring up that this is communication and that this is a situation where there's somebody or there is some communication or maybe an advisor of some type overcoming an obstacle. So the communication because of the insurmountable problems. So you have like maybe found yourself in a situation where the problems are very, very like you're finding a very difficult. You're finding it very difficult to wrap your mind around how in the world these insurmountable things that you're dealing with are actually going to be resolved. That's a good way to word that. Because, you know, to be honest, it did say maybe advisement. And we are talking about finances and relationships. So somebody in a relationship or of some type, it could be a group, by the way, a club or something like that, challenging, holding your own, trying to reach a point where you are getting through these insurmountable problems. And this is duty bound. Okay, this is not something that you could just throw in the towel. Whatever this situation is, you cannot just throw in the towel. If you're going to make changes, okay, this is something that needs the communication. Because this is not just something, I mean, like, you want to throw in the towel. You've been with somebody for 15 years. You're looking at 4 kids at the table. Okay, this is not a situation where you can just throw in the towel and just drop the ball and jump. Okay? No. This is communication. This is somebody who is expressing themselves and having a little bit of communication about these problems. You're trying not to, like, these are duty-bound things that are responsibilities, okay? And we're having a conversation about that. Somebody is. I'm doing it now. Keeping in mind the heart chakra energy. Because both of these two positions had both the heart chakra energy. And this heart chakra was upright. This heart chakra was in reverse. And remember what I said about the heart chakra? It is something connected to what you dearly love. Close your eyes and imagine. What is it that you do that you love absolutely the most? Now, it might not be your day-to-day life. It might be something that you save half a year for. The trip up into the mountain, the camping trip with the family, getting on the airplane and taking a vacation. It could be being able to take a couple of days because your family members are living 4 states away and you want to go to Thanksgiving dinner. And, you have to really work towards that. But what is it when you close your eyes that you're picturing that is closest to your heart? So this financial and this conversation and this relationship that these people are in, the conversation, it all has to do with something that is very close to your heart. As well as all of the other things. And we are duty bound. Resigned to fate. Long-term generational impact. Whatever happens. This is the message. Long-term generational impact. Okay, now, in closing, let's see what the oracle cards. I have these are the crystals. They're very, very hard to shuffle. And because they drop, because they're really, really big. We're going to just find out what one says here. With this, sometimes I do the cards, the last deck, I'll do 3. But with this particular deck, I'm only going to draw 1. Spirit guide me, Spirit guide me. Archangel Michael, Spirit guide me. Archangel Michael, Spirit guide me. Oh, there we go. There we are. What do we get? Isn't that pretty? Okay. Lapis lazuli. A deep blue stone with deep history. See ancient Egypt. Tutankhamun's eyeshadow. The Old Testament. The High Priest of Israel's vestments. And the Dutch Golden Age. Vermeer's palette. Who needs it? Cat people. Leos. Anyone who uses the phrase in a past life, I'm totally convinced I was a... Okay, where to put it? As a spiritual armor that lets the world know, when I walk into a room, it's customary for you all to bend the knee. I watched that movie. Okay, when to use it? When your thoughts are not your friends, call in lapis lazuli to help you out of whatever your mind has gotten you into. And remember, we started off with worrying. And didn't the definition basically cover the fact that you might be worrying over something for no reason? On the other hand, we also started out this video with the mentioning of the cats because I said I have 4 of them. Cat people need this crystal. And I seriously think I might just go down to the store this weekend and get myself some. I do appreciate you spending your time with me today. You are more than welcome to look at any of my older videos, but please do keep in mind, if there are any transactions through PayPal with donations, the older videos have posted the older email. I will not get it. Only a couple of the videos that I have made, including this one that will be coming out tomorrow, have the new email address. And I haven't changed that sign yet, but you know what? Eventually we're going to fix this problem anyways. And I do appreciate your support. I want to remind you one more time, if you have not already done it, if you've enjoyed the content of what I've done today, by all means, press the subscribe button. It really will help me build my channel. And press that like button. Trust me, it really helps build my channel, and I could use the help. And come back again. This is Barbara from Timeless Energy. Have a good weekend.